to another episode of D Rank Warriors. Today we'll be going over BEWEAR on fighting. Now, BEWEAR is actually a pretty common Pokemon on normal, similar to our last episode's entry with Whimsicott on Fairy, and the reason why it's D rank on fighting is that while at the beginning of the generation BEWEAR was actually quite good, it actually fell in usability thanks to the introduction of the swords and more threats being popularized, as well as more Pokemon becoming available. An example of this is Ninetales Alola, who makes BEWEAR's job as a check to most ice types very, very difficult. So that's why BEWEAR is now D rank. It used to be pretty good, arguably one of the best Pokemon on fighting, before the swords came, but now not so much. So without further ado, let's go check and see some of the sets that BEWEAR used to run. So the main set that BEWEAR basically runs is essentially this bulky leftovers bulk up set. You can also run Sword Stance if you really want to add offensive power, but I personally like bulk up because it allows you to wall more things. And that's pretty much what BEWEAR is going to be doing for the majority of this during his presence on the field. He's going to use his very good HP and defense stat paired with Fluffy, and basically just wall certain physical attackers, namely like not Dracovish in particular, but Barrascuda is a Pokemon that it can actually check pretty well. It can also take hits from like really fast physical attackers. Can't really think of one off the top of my head right now, but if it's a frail physical attacker, BEWEAR can usually check it pretty well. So with its combination of Darkest Lariat and Drain Punch, it's actually it hits a pretty good portion of the tier really hard. And it especially likes Darkest Lariat because it ignores defense boosts, so stuff like Corviknight won't be able to like outstall it if it spams bulk up in front of it, because that will be a common occurrence you see it happen with BEWEAR. And in fact, that's right, it runs 80 speed, is to outspeed most variants of Corviknight. Now, some of them might outspeed you because they're running an absolutely ridiculous amount of speed, but this should outspeed most variants. And it also helps out against Aegislash as well. It outspeeds most offensive and defensive variants. Unless it's max speed, then you're just screwed at that point, but most of the time Aegislash doesn't run max speed because it wants that bulk. So aside from that, BEWEAR still does its job pretty well. The only problem is that it's outclassed by like a bunch of other Pokemon, namely the swords, as I mentioned previously. The swords essentially just make BEWEAR completely useless because Keldeo is just a better Calm Mind sweeper, Terrakion a better Sword Stance sweeper, even Cobalion could be like a better setup sweeper than BEWEAR. And it finds more situations. Their typings are just better than BEWEAR's, but don't get me wrong, BEWEAR's typing of normal fighting actually isn't that bad because it helps out a lot against a certain Pokemon that fighting really, really hates, and that would be Corsola. Galarian Corsola is one of the most obnoxious Pokemon that fighting has to deal with, and BEWEAR completely walls it and sets up in front of it because it's immune to Nightshade, and it also outspeeds it naturally, puts up Substitute, and Corsola can't do a thing in front of it. And it also means it forces in an opposing Ghost type to come in, and that will just allow you to Darkest Lariat for free, and basically claim a Pokemon. Now, it does have to worry about Infiltrator, Dragapult on Ghost, but that's just a problem you're going to have to deal with naturally. And its bulk is still pretty good, even with Dragon Darts not being physical. You'll probably still live one and maybe do a lot of damage in return. You won't kill, per se, which is disappointing, but you still do a reasonably good amount of damage to most of the Ghost types in the tier, so don't underestimate that at all. And that's another one of BEWEAR's problems, it's just really, really, really slow. And while it is bulky enough to pay it off, fighting doesn't like slow, bulky attackers that much. It really wants fast-paced attackers, which is why the swords pretty much replaced BEWEAR once they got released after Home. But yeah, BEWEAR just does not do it. Just does not cut it at all when it comes to the competition that it faces on fighting, especially against stuff like Como and even Scrafty. Scrafty's usually a better setup sweeper, but BEWEAR's typing and his ability to stop Galarian Corsola completely without even having to worry about getting burned or getting strength stabs is one of the main reasons why it's ranked D in the first place. And that Ghost immunity is also very important, especially in front of Pokemon like Gengar, because it forms a little bit of an immunity core with Cobalion when it comes to Gengar stabs. I mean, it can still use Focus Blast or Dazzling Gleam, but the Gengar user probably doesn't want to use that a Focus Blast, and if it has that, you're pretty much screwed anyway. But you can use Cobalion to switch into that, because it only takes like 30 to 40 damage from it, and you can just click Thunder Wave, cripple Gengar completely. So yeah, that's why BEWEAR has a niche on fighting, but let's see us put that into practice. So we're gonna put him on a team, as you can see here. So this team doesn't really need BEWEAR per se, but the reason why BEWEAR is on this team is because it helps out a lot with a bunch of the Pokemon actually. So you have a bunch of setup sweepers on this team. You got Roselli Berry, Terrakion. Roselli is for Pokemon like Ninetales and Lolo, Gardevoir in particular. Just be able to take a hit from them and then just usually revenge kill them in return. Now, Roselli Berry is fairly situational, but I feel that LO is just too much, and you lose too much from using it. And also, since there's no Z moves, you can't really pull out a nuke. And Expert Belt just doesn't cut it, because you pretty much do the exact amount of damage, like it doesn't do anything different per se. So you could run a plate if you want. You could run like a plate or a hard stone if you wish, but I prefer Roselli Berry. I feel like it's better situationally, at least for what I'm going for. It's very useful in the ice matchup though, especially against Ninetales, because it would just be able to click with Blast for free, but then it just dies to Terrakion. Toxicroak is used as our main Scarfer. This set isn't particularly the best, but it covers the most things that we need to cover. Earthquake normally would be used, but I have Ice Punch instead, just to try and like check the few flying types and other ridiculous Pokemon we might run into, because Keldeo not running the spec set. So we just want to hit like Wyvern, for example, on Dragon, because that Pokemon's very annoying for this type to deal with, especially since Cobalion can't roll it very well. And it outspeeds everything it gets it with Hurricane or Air Slash if it hasn't, so if Terrakion is not reliable, well, it can check it, but you don't want to like get that thing weakened, so that's why I have Ice Punch on Toxicroak for that blow. And Gunk Shot, Knock Off, and Drain Punch is just normal coverage. Hawlucha with the power set should be a very dangerous setup sweeper. So in BEWEAR slot you could put Virizion, but if you put on Virizion, then you have a much harder matchup versus ghost types. And that's what we're going to be fishing for with BEWEAR. It helps immensely with the ghost matchup. And that's mainly what it does on this team. So without further ado, let's get on to some matches. Alright, so we're probably going to be leading Cobalion for the entire time we do this session today. Cobalion has pretty much always been the best lead for fighting types. You can use Como, and we did use Como before Home came out, but the main problem with using Como is that A, it's slower, B, its stabs are just not as good, and it doesn't have as good of a support move. Well, sure, it has Stealth Rock and Taunt, but like, and even Dragon Tail is pretty good, but like, I still feel like Cobalion is just way better at its job. Even Terrakion is kind of better at its job, because you just have like better stabs to hit people with. But yeah, it is what it is. So, we get Dragon here. We get Dragon with Dracofish. Toxicroak actually helps out a little bit and forces Dracofish to use Psychic Fangs. And Psychic Fangs is a little less annoying because it doesn't do as much damage. But, yeah, we'll see what happens this match. So he sent down Wyvern first, interestingly enough. I'm not sure why he wanted to get that thing paralyzed, but okay. He actually has Taunt on his Wyvern, and that's going to be very annoying for us. We don't want to hard switch into anything, because he's obviously going to Hurricane. And Hurricane 2-hit KOs Terrakion, so we probably want to stay in. Except we sacrifice rocks if we do that, and I'm not particularly a fan of that. Unfortunate way to start off the video, but I think we're gonna have to sack BEWEAR here. Alright, he misses Hurricane, but that doesn't matter. Misses Hurricane again, still doesn't matter though. And he has Infiltrator and not Frisk. I completely forgot about that. We'll be using Ice Punch here to revenge kill Wyvern. Of course it kills. Let's see what he does next. And this Pokemon, I'm pretty sure, just wins. I think we might be able to take a +1 Fusion Bolt, but don't quote me on that. I feel like I probably should have put in Cavalion. Yeah, I should have put in Cavalion instead. That was a misplay. But it doesn't matter because we kill Kyurem anyway. And that was a stab Dragon Claw, so yeah, we would have taken the Fusion Bolt for sure. We're gonna put in Cavalion here. Probably Draco's. Uses Shadow Ball. Okay. Alright, unfortunately there's not much I can do about this. So we're just gonna have to click knock off here. So he gets rid of his Choice Scarf on this guy. He's probably gonna Psychic Fangs here, so I guess we'll sack Terrakion. Yeah, he's Psychic Fangs, and now we Sky Attack with our Hawlucha. Damn, it didn't kill. We get the flinch though, so that helps. I don't think we can win still, even with that flinch. Because Dragapult still kills us. And I couldn't have gotten greedy with a Swords Dance there. So he thinks he's gonna lose, but he's not gonna lose because Dragapult still completely destroys me. If he sent in Dragapult, he would realize that he wins here. I'm not gonna hard read because hard reading is just not an option against lighter players. Okay, so he was Sash, which is really annoying. I guess I shouldn't have expected anything else. I don't want to do this, but I guess I have to. I'm gonna have to spam Ice Punch. We're gonna have to fish for a freeze here, because, yeah. There was no way I was gonna be able to kill him. Because I didn't know if he was Scarf or not, so I had to go for that. Apparently we get a little bit of salt, because of the hacks. But the reason why I had to go for the freeze there was because I didn't know if he was Scarf or not, and he could be Double Scarf Dragon, because that's viable in this generation. So that's why I had to go for that, because otherwise it would have hard switched into Keldeo and just gone off from there. But fortunately we had to do that play, which is a little upsetting, and he did get the unfortunate freeze. Very sad, but we take those. One more match. Unfortunately, our boy BEWEAR didn't get to do anything that match, but you will see eventually just how useful it is. So, we get Steel. Steel is actually not that good of an MU for us, and that's normally because of Corviknight, but we have a very decent Corviknight check in BEWEAR here, so we'll see how that goes. In fact, he sends in Corviknight first thing. We're going to tell Corviknight to back off right now, and we're going to click Stealth Rock. He sends in Egg Slash. We're going to taunt him again just so he doesn't use any setup moves, and so he can't use King Shield. He should be sending in his extra drill here, but he does not. He still keeps in his Acre Slash. Alright, that was not specs damage, I believe, so I'm gonna go send in BEWEAR, even though I knew it wasn't specs damage, but I feel like he's just gonna spam it. I could Darkest Lariat here, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna sub up, predicting the switch, because he should switch here, because he doesn't want to lose his fighting immunity. Yeah, there you go. Alright, we bulk up, spam. He can set rocks, but that doesn't matter because fighting really doesn't care about rocks at all, especially this team. I would normally care about rocks if I had Breloom or something, but Breloom's not in this generation, so fighting literally does not care. I mean, Hawlucha could care in certain situations, but like, it's not really that big of a deal. It only does 6% to all of our Pokemon, and it's not like most of these guys are trying to live hits anyway, so... He's taking a little bit to decide what he wants to do. Power Whip doesn't really kill here. We move first, so Bulk Up will literally wall him better. Alright, he sends out Duraludon first thing. I'm not sure if that was exactly the right play from him, because that's his only special attacker. And now it's dead. Bisharp doesn't kill. Aegislash gets outsped by BEWEAR. And Excadrill just gets Drain Punched, so I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, we'll just spam Drain Punch here, because I'm not sure what he's up to. Yeah, he uses Taunt, but Taunt doesn't do anything. Anyway, we just got rid of the biggest threat to my team, so that's pretty good. And BEWEAR just proceeds to kill the rest of this team once I get this Taunt off me. So Aegislash comes in, he's probably going to use Flash Cannon. So we're going to switch to Cobalion here. Oh, that's cute. So he actually turns out to be the Subtoxic set. Okay, so we're going to have to set Cobalion here. I think that's pretty obvious. But yeah, he's the Subtoxic set, it looks like. So that's probably why he switched out before, because he didn't have anything to hit BEWEAR with. He's probably going to Rapid Spin here. Either that or Earthquake. Either way, Hawlucha is probably the optimal switch out. Alright, we Sword Stance here. He sends out Aegislash again, but it doesn't really matter because I can just throw him. He really can't do anything at this point, because he's just like my victim at this point. We miss Sky Attack, which is not cool. He probably has King Shield if he's the substitute set, so... yeah, there it is. Alright, we're gonna hard switch into BEWEAR here, because he's probably not gonna Toxic. He does not. We sub up because we're faster, most likely. Yep, we're faster. We're gonna bulk up here. And yeah, he sent out Excadrill. Excadrill gets bopped. Sends out Bisharp. We don't care about Bisharp. We click Drain Punch. And he forfeits. So yeah, you can see right there that BEWEAR just took a shaky MU and just made it like so much easier. Because no other Pokemon I'm fighting could have made that as easy as it was. Because the rest of these guys have to worry about Aegislash 50/50s, but BEWEAR just does not care. It just subs up and starts setting up in front of it. And with that set especially, that set could be really annoying for fighting to deal with. But like, because of BEWEAR's normal typing, it's immune to Shadow Ball. And most people on Steel aren't going to be using Flash Cannon for the Subtoxic sets. So yeah, there you go. That's why BEWEAR has a niche on fighting. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you liked it. And yeah, I hope y'all have a very good day.